Want to give you a quick update on Tropical Storm Idalia, which is likely to become the first American landfalling hurricane of the 2023 season. Here's the latest update here midday on this Monday of Idalia, and it's winds of 70 miles per hour, puts it as a strong tropical storm. 74-mile-per-hour winds is the cutoff for a hurricane. It is moving north. Most of the day Sunday was actually sitting pretty stationary just off the Yucatan Peninsula. Right now it's moving right between the Yucatan and Cuba. Winds of 70 miles per hour. Again, movement to the north at 8 miles per hour. Pressure is sitting at 987. Then hurricane hunters will be investigating this storm throughout the day. It is likely to be upgraded to a hurricane later today as well. And you can see the kind of meandering path that this storm has been doing, but it's going to start moving to the north. And unfortunately, as it does move north into the eastern portions of the Gulf of Mexico, it's going to move into an area more conducive for this storm to start to strengthen. Very warm sea surface temperatures start to move into an area with less wind shear. So we expect this storm to become a Category 1 storm later today, stay that way through Tuesday morning, and unfortunately increasing to 2 and potentially Category 3 hurricane. So we could have a major hurricane making landfall on the eastern, the Gulf side of Florida Panhandle, or down in through the peninsula there. So this is Wednesday morning, so we're talking near just after sunrise, likely on Wednesday, making landfall, moving across Florida, weakening, but still staying a tropical storm as it moves across Georgia and skirts along the Carolina coast. So that still could be bringing winds 60 to 70 miles per hour, and then will likely move well out into the Atlantic. So it's a storm that will go for a while, but it's really here over the next few days that we're watching the impacts closely. Most of the computer models are in a pretty tight agreement with this storm. It fans out a little bit when it gets to the Florida coast. So exact landfall is where the center of the storm will hit. Still a little bit in question, but as you go through much of the northern portions of Florida, we're really watching. This is a zoomed in view of the cone of uncertainty that the National Hurricane Center puts out. And one thing I want to point out, don't worry too much where exactly this icon and line is. Really, as you go in this entire area, the center of this storm could make landfall anywhere in that area. Again, Wednesday morning with winds, you can see of 115 miles per hour. To kind of give you perspective where we're looking, here's Gainesville, here's Orlando, Daytona Beach. The Cedar Key area is one area. The Clara area is another there in Florida that we're watching closely with this storm. You can't really focus on the exact center of the storm because it's going to be a big hurricane with winds that will be stretched out over a large portion of Florida. The yellow you see here, that's tropical storm force winds, and you can see it covering a large area. You get into the oranges, that's the 58 mile per hour. That's where you're getting your severe thunderstorm style winds. So that's where more significant damage. And the red, that's where we're getting at least Category 1 hurricane force winds, if not stronger. That could continue all the way into southeastern Georgia and then weaken some as it works up into the Carolinas. So as you would guess, hurricane warnings are in effect for a large area of the western Florida coast, the Gulf side of Florida. Tropical storm warnings stretching a little farther and then down as this storm is going to be moving in, could bring some tropical storm force kind of winds across parts of the southern tip of Florida as well. So we'll be here to continue to update you on KWTX.com and on our YouTube page of the latest of the storm. Again, Idalia is right now a tropical storm, likely to become a hurricane later today and could strengthen to a major hurricane before a likely Wednesday landfall in the northern portions of Florida. Good news for Tampa and areas south that had the impacts from Ian. This storm does not look to bring major impacts or as bad of impacts as Ian did for that area, but we'll be watching a little further north up the Florida coast where the strongest conditions will be. The storm surge wind threat will definitely be there with this storm, and we'll be here to keep you updated.